to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
Welcome. This is your host, Bill Wynn. I am joined in the studio today by a few people. We're going to be talking about performance nutrition product marketing. And my good friend and erstwhile co-host, Sam Wheeler, is also joining me. Good morning, Sam.
Morning.
Before we get to our introducing our guests here, I just want to make sure our listeners are aware of our next event, which is a partner and volunteer appreciation event, Thursday, November 16th, in the awesome tasting room at Malahat Spirits. Visit the website sdama.org to learn more. Again, if you're an AMA San Diego partner, sponsor, or volunteer, you'll definitely want to attend that event. So today we're going to be talking about performance nutrition product marketing, and joining me in the studio are a couple of product marketers from California-based companies in this space. The first person I'll introduce is Kevin Weatherall. He's the Director of Marketing at Detour Bar. You can learn more about his company at detourbar.com. Good morning, Kevin.
Morning. Good to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. And then the other person joining me here is Ash Danig. She is a field marketing manager with Iconic Protein. You can learn more about Iconic at drinkiconic.com. Good morning, Ash.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Kevin, I'm going to start with you. If you're up for it, I'd love for you to tell us more about your company and yourself. What is Detour Bar all about? How did it start? How old is it? What are your products?
Yeah, no, I'd love to. So I work for Detour Bar. I'm the Director of Marketing for the company, and we've been around for over 15 years. And our focus really is on performance nutrition, like you just started with. And so all our products are high in protein and they're low in sugar, but they taste amazing. We're distributed across the country in every real channel, including convenience, club stores, online, and even the grocery store. So that includes accounts like 7-Eleven and Sam's Club and Walmart.
Okay. And what is your role there? Like, what is your day-to-day job look like? What are you in charge of?
Yeah, so I'm really in charge of consumer marketing. So that's everything from advertising to our e-commerce business to our social media channels to our sampling programs that really drive trial out in the field to gain consumers.
Okay, and how big is the marketing team there? Are you a one-man show, or are there some other
No,
other
we have
folks
about
there?
3 people on our team, but really we rely heavily on a deep network of consultants, especially on our sampling initiatives where we have ambassadors across the country sampling at our key retailers and other major events. So it's a smaller team, but we have a really big network of people working with us to support us across the country.
Okay, we're going to talk a lot more about the concept of sampling here in a second. Ash, I'll turn to you now. Can you tell us a little bit more about Iconic Protein, what the company's about, what your product suite looks like?
Yeah, so in 2011, our founder, Billy, born in New Orleans, that's where the product was born. He was really kind of frustrated with not having a clean milk protein to consume after a workout or for breakfast, midday snack. So that's where the concept developed from. Since then, he's grown his team. We now have a strong team of 9. Myself taking over the marketing department as we grow. And like Kevin mentioned, we have a lot of consultants and different parties that help us out with different sections from consumer to trade marketing. So now we're situated in Santa Monica, California, as of very recently. And so we're really excited to dive into the Southern California market. Texas is our other strong one. And the company is growing. We have some new flavor launches coming up that we're really excited about. And overall, just, right now is the construction of our team. And really, for marketing department-wise, we're building that currently.
Yeah, but certainly you're not a virtual company. There's physical product. I can see you've got a bottle in front of you, and you've been kind enough to bring us some samples, as has Kevin, and so that's a way to get in the good graces of the host and be assured that you won't be asked any really difficult questions. So thank you for doing that. So I want to talk then more about where people can find your products, right? What are the channels through which Iconic is sold?
So we're in retailers nationally, whether conventional or natural, just depends on your region. That is expanding as of 2018, so we're really excited to dive into a little bit more conventional stores. We're also on Amazon. That's a big player for our online space, and then we do sell directly from our website as well.
Okay. And Kevin, how about you? What channels do you sell through?
Yeah, so like I was saying, we're in every major channel. So convenience stores like 7-Eleven. We're also in club stores like Sam's Club across the country, and we recently got our Smart Bars into Walmart across the country as well. But at the same time, like Ash said, Amazon and the online channel is a huge opportunity for us, and we're really investing a lot of time in growing that business and already seeing some returns over the last 2 years.
So you guys really have kind of a two-tiered marketing environment, right? Where you're selling through channels. You've got a lot of business partners that are very important to your sales, but you're trying to create demand in the end user customer, right? To sell through those channels.
Yeah, and we ultimately call that velocity, which is really the driver of consumer products being sold at retail, which is really how many bars are you pulling off the shelf, in my case, at each store. And we look at that on really a weekly basis. So for an example, if you're selling 5 units per store per week of a flavor of your product, that's doing well, as an example. Mm-hmm. So that's a key metric, though. And yeah, it's all about getting people to go out to the stores and purchase.
Yeah. Let's talk about who, like, what your typical customer looks like, right? Kevin, I'll start with you. Who is your audience? Who's the customer for your product?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I actually have a few of our bars out here, and we have a few different product lines, all kind of driving at a little bit different of a demographic. One's more of a sports nutrition bar that's really high in protein, and another is a snack bar. But generally speaking, all of our bars include protein, and so we're really looking for people who have the knowledge and know that protein is a benefit to them, but also that they're active and looking for healthy products to supplement their lifestyle.
Yeah, and I noticed that to that point, probably the most powerful piece of content on your website explains why protein is such an important part of your diet, right? So you're really speaking to that demographic.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. We developed that page, I think it was a few years ago, and we were creating our new site, and we did some work to really optimize it, obviously online, and it ended up being the most highly trafficked site on our website by far. Mm-hmm. The number one site, I think it's by like 5x. So people actually aren't just coming to our site to find out about our products, but we're actually getting people coming in who are looking to learn about protein and the benefits of it. Yeah.
Okay, so then Ash, how about you? Who is the typical customer for your product line?
Yeah, probably about the same demographic as Kevin's. Maybe more so, on the other side of educating about protein, we really see our product situated as this is grab and go, just like a kombucha would be, or a coconut water, something of that sort, where we really want to situate ourselves in the grab and go section. So not necessarily someone who has that immense knowledge of, I need to get this much protein in my diet per day. We're really trying to go after that user who is looking for something that's clean, really convenient, and can fit in various occasions of their day too.
Mm-hmm. So how do you identify and talk to that consumer, right? What are some of the ways that you create demand among those people?
I think it's going directly to where they are, where they could be using Iconic in their day. So, a working professional is someone we're targeting. So actually going to a co-working space and providing samples right there to them directly with our field marketing efforts. Also, there's different organizations like Daybreaker where you can go and do some yoga in the morning. We want to reach those people who are being active in the morning sessions. And then, a post-workout recovery drink for the evening after work. So targeting, different gyms and providing samples there too.
So is the hope that you can that you can reach those people in those environments and then create demand that carries over to the to other channels, to whether it's Amazon or other retail channels.
Yeah, so we would direct them specifically, after enjoying a sample, say, hey, where are you from? What's your closest retailer? Here's a coupon. Take it home with you. Or, are you a big Amazon user? Go ahead and subscribe for your monthly case allotment.
Mm-hmm. So how important is actually physically sampling your product? I mean, versus people just learning about it through an advertisement or on social media, for example, right? How important is that?
Well, from my background of 5 years of field marketing, I think that's the best tactic that we can use, because that's putting someone who's dedicated to the brand directly in front of the consumer, answering every specific question they might have, from the ingredient list to the background of the company to, what beyond the product is this company doing? I want to stand behind it, and really, giving that consumer an overall experience with that product. To me, that speaks volumes, mostly because my experience is 100% involved in that. But we do have other outlets for social. We know that brand awareness through different ads on Amazon or Facebook, constantly seeing that logo and our mission is really important to have both of those working together.
Mm-hmm. And you as well, Kevin, right? Sampling is part of your model?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I would say it's actually the number one initiative for us over the last couple of years, just because in the food business, to convert people, you need them to try the product first, especially in the fast-moving consumables business.
Okay, we'll be right back with more performance nutrition product marketing.
A podcast or radio show on WS Radio is a great way to create content marketing. Turn prospects into customers into raving fans. Contact Wade at WSRadio.com or call 866-WS-RADIO.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on VinVillage Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
One person has the power to change the world, impact millions of lives, and leave a legacy for lifetimes to come. That person is you. In the New York Times bestseller, What is Your What? Steve Olsher, award-winning author and founder of the Reinvention Workshop, reveals his proven process that has helped thousands of men and women discover, share, and monetize the one thing they were born to do. Grab your free copy now at www.whatisyourwhat.com/free. That's www.whatisyourwhat.com/free.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
Welcome back. We are talking performance nutrition product marketing with Kevin Weatherall of Detour Bar and Ash Danig of Danig or Hanig? I'm sorry.
Hanig.
Hanig. I mistyped it. Of Iconic Protein. So when we left off, Kevin, we were talking about the importance of samples, right? Actually getting your product in front of that the customer as an important part of the experience. So the follow-up question would be, if everyone has to try your product, right? It seems like you have to have a lot of feet on the street to achieve any kind of scale, right? Is that the case?
Yeah, it's pretty complicated. And just to finish up the note that I was kind of leading on before, in terms of sampling, really the most effective place to do it is where people can purchase quickly. So that's at retail. So a lot of our efforts really are based upon sampling in store near the shelf so that once somebody tries it, they can easily purchase it. We also do event sampling outdoors, which is highly effective. It's a great branding experience, as Ash kind of alluded to. The trick is they have to go find the product, and in a very crowded space at retail, it's sometimes hard for them to go discover it.
Yeah.
And then, in terms of managing the whole system, it's very complicated because, as I mentioned previously, we're in a lot of retailers all across the country. And so to support that, you need brand ambassadors or you need an outside marketing group to support that. And how we're running it right now is we have a network of brand ambassadors that we hire and that we manage internally. And yes, it's complex because you have a lot of schedules. You have to get product to them, and it can be overwhelming. But it's highly effective, especially since they're very good shepherds of the brand, and we train them to really speak highly of our products and educate them.
What about special events, right? So like fitness events, triathlons, 10Ks, that kind of stuff. Are you guys present at those types of events?
Yeah, so we do those. The brand ambassadors do those, but there's a little bit of a shift. In the beginning, when I started, we really were focusing more on that, and we weren't seeing as much of an ROI in the area in terms of sales. And when we split it in half and started to have people set up in the stores where the product is, in addition to those events, it all came together into really making a difference in the business. So it's a little bit of both for us.
So that's interesting, right? So you're saying that you found the events to be somewhat productive, but much more productive in combination with the in-store retail experience.
Exactly. And I mean, you can think of it like this too, that, when they're out at a run and they're in that environment, it's like I said, it's a great branding experience because we're supporting that event. But ultimately, if you can then connect with them again at the retail store, they say in marketing, you have to have multiple touch points to convert, and they can come again and sample in a store. It's been highly effective. So the combination of both.
Yeah. So at a triathlon or something, or a 10K, right? Let's say that's the example. Would you have just kind of product added to that post-race swag bag, or would you have a booth there, right, where you're giving out samples? What does that look like?
Yeah, so it's all of the above. I mean, with each of these events, you can work on them on different, capacities. So, yeah, you can set up a table in their booth area, post-run, pre-run, where people are coming through. You can also supply product to their sample bags. So a lot of these races, have sample bags they hand out at the beginning.
Yep.
You can also be a title sponsor and have your brand up on, the tile so that everyone's seeing it as they run through. So there's a lot of different opportunities to work with each event, and there's so many events. I mean, think about the growth of events over the last years, from concerts and the big festivals over to things like the Tough Mudder and other mud races. So there's a lot of opportunities out there to get your product out in these type of events.
Ash, during the break, you were talking about in a previous life, right? When you worked at Kind Bar, how many events were you guys doing per month just in Los Angeles?
Gosh, we had along with a demo program and regular events, we had probably at least 2 brand ambassadors in the field every single day. So that was quite a robust team. Mm-hmm. We also had, promotional vehicles, driving around the city like crazy. So people were constantly seeing that brand. And it was great. When we'd go on site, people would tell us, I see you guys everywhere. And that was like the biggest win for us, knowing that we were reaching them in every facet that we possibly could. At that time, we mimicked all of our events with over 150 demos just within the Los Angeles area. So that was quite the schedule to be running, but it was really effective. And like I said, we noticed when we went to events and people said, you guys are everywhere.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about what you guys are telling us is that a lot of the people that are involved with AMA San Diego are they're either digital marketers or they're traditional marketers, right? And they're figuring out how to reach customers or partners through traditional channels or through digital channels, right? But they're leaving out a lot of these physical things that you guys are talking about, right? Where if you're in a product marketing space, there's a tremendous physical component, right? It requires a lot of feet on the street, a lot of investment that I think a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, definitely. For every field marketing activation that there is, we try to also bring in the digital component. So is this event also posting us on their social media so that it's there for people who are say, oh, well, do we want to come back and do that event this year? Look at all these cool brands that were there. Let's definitely do it. So we try to have a lasting piece beyond, that engagement. So we can try to incorporate the digital aspect to most things too.
Definitely. That kind of brings me into a question that I was wondering is, what do you guys look for when you are looking for an event? What type of things stick out to you that kind of points to a direction that you think the event is going to be successful from the business end?
Yeah, well, I think it's all about the area, right? And it's got to overlap on your distribution. So you don't want to be doing an event that's far away from where you can buy the bars. So if you can find a centrally located event that's on brand and has retail that's close, I think those are the events you want to work with. Obviously, demographics-wise and does it cater to your certain product, the consumers that the event is key. But I think always tying the footprint back, to retail is important. Although I will say with the advent in Amazon and that growing business and people able to buy online, that's changed it a little bit, but I still think that you should base it upon retail.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk more about some of these digital channels that are part of your marketing mix. Ash, I'll start with you because you were just talking about social, right? What are the digital channels that kind of enhance awareness for your products?
Right now, it's probably 90% social. I would say our Instagram account is what seems to be a good platform for us to really connect with our consumer. That's definitely something they're using every day, and it's definitely something we're communicating on every day. Mm-hmm. Other than that, there's different ads that we're running, on Amazon or Facebook to kind of connect with them on different channels, but mostly Instagram and building an influencer program on social.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What does that influencer program look like?
So that's taking individuals that have a substantial following of, our direct demographic or consumers. So those are people who are also posting daily, interacting daily with, the people that we are as well on our own channel. So it's giving us kind of this spider web effect and building a larger audience for those that may not directly follow Iconic, then get to see Iconic through these different influencers that they follow.
Mm-hmm. And what is your what types of content do you see these people posting?
It's a variety from your product works amazing for my diet. And it's not something we typically try to associate our product with, but it's working for them, and they found that this product works, so they want to talk about it. In turn, all of their followers, might also be on that same diet trend and, using Iconic because this person's recommending it. It goes all the way from that to the other side of, this was a really good breakfast. Like, I got out the door, had my coffee at the same time, and it was really convenient for me. So there's kind of this range from the really like nutritional side of things to just the average user who's implementing it in their daily life.
So what's interesting about that is that your influencer content is kind of taking on the flavor of a UGC, right, user generated content type of thing. And we talk about at AMA San Diego all the time the growing importance of UGC as part of the customer experience, right, where part of the messaging that your customers are receiving is not necessarily produced by you, and you don't have total control over it, and it can take shapes, different shapes than you might write for yourself, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's all bad.
Right. I think it's, adapting to what that person needs for their personal life. We really want our product to be something that, anyone can use, not just someone who's going to work out, and it makes them their personal best in what they're doing with their life. So whether they're a super mom or a really hardworking young professional to a CrossFit trainer, it's something that can be utilized by everyone in their own ways.
Yeah. Kevin, we have got about 45 seconds till the break here. So once again, you could get cut off. But so what's your experience working with influencers and in social media?
Yeah. So like Ash, I think they can be highly effective. Number one, just to touch upon the UGC development, right? They're creating really high-quality content that you can repurpose through your channels, and they can be highly effective. So as opposed to a normal ad where you're just talking about yourself, you can actually repurpose their content, which is user-generated, and them showing a different light on your product, and we've seen really good results in how those ads perform. So that's one side of it. And then the other side of it is they're sharing it with their audience and creating awareness for you. And I heard a stat recently that said, 40% of people.
I tell you what, we'll pick that up after the break. Sorry, Kevin. Be right back.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. Securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. Securingourecity.org.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Kinja Dixon was crowned the #1 sales executive through hard work, deep thinking, and the revelation of Universal Talk Laws. He now wants to share these lessons with you. Universal Talk Laws are what you need to know and use in business and at home to have successful and effective conversations. Kinja Dixon shares his wisdom, action plans, and wealth. Each book comes with a chance to win $10,000. Find Universal Talk Laws at KinjaDixon.com.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
We are back talking performance nutrition product marketing with Kevin Weatherall of Detour Bar and Ash Hennig of Drink Iconic Protein. And Kevin, when we left off with a cliffhanger there, you were about to give us a stat, I think, regarding influencer marketing, correct?
Yeah, I'll finish up on that one for you guys. So yeah, what I was trying to say is 40% of people say that they have purchased an item online after seeing it used by an influencer. So pretty jarring stat, but when people see influencers post about products, they really are inspired by them and go out and purchase them in large numbers.
Yeah. During the break, Sam here asked a good question. Sam, you want to repeat it?
Yeah, sure. So I'm interested to hear, and I'm sure the audience would hear as well, is how do you guys track success from the influencer campaign? And are there certain metrics that you look at more than others, or kind of how, after partnering with somebody, what do you look for from a business end?
Yes, I mean, I would say it's a brand new world, so we're always learning new ways to kind of judge the performance. But, at a level, it's all about engagement. Really, this is an awareness platform. So it's really what was the reach of a post, how much engagement, likes, comments, shares. And then it's just anecdotally when you look at each of the posts and what kind of response it's getting, how valuable it is. If you see some people commenting and saying that we would love to try the product and this looks awesome, that's really a benefit, because at the end of the day too, there's a lot of fake likes and fake followers out there, and so you can't completely judge the activity based on some of those engagement metrics. So you kind of have to level it between the two.
Okay, good call. Ash, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think it's everything that Kevin mentioned, and then we can pull statistics too based on how people are actually purchasing directly from our social pages. So I think it would be looking at that, mimicked with the timeline of these different influencer posts going up or different collaborations with other brands, and seeing how things are peaking or the timeline matching up with, direct sales coming in.
Okay.
The one thing I was going to say too is we actually study that a lot is what is the sales impact, but something we've pulled back on is having influencers really push coupon codes and other formats to purchase, only because it can come off as not authentic. And that's kind of been a sweep in the industry. If you talk to some of the larger influencers, they're not sharing coupon codes and links as much because it kind of dilutes their brand a bit. And so I think in some opportunities it makes sense, but it's something that we pulled back on a little bit.
Okay, that's good to know. Let's talk a little bit now about your experience working with Amazon, right? You guys both mentioned that as being a pretty important channel for you guys. I'm curious to know two things. Number one, what is Amazon like to work with? And number two, how do you optimize in that channel, right? How do you kind of maximize traffic to your store within Amazon? Kevin, I'll start with you.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, Amazon is a huge account for us now, and it's been growing significantly over the last few years. And really, in terms of the first part of the question, how is it to work with them? It's really different than any other retail partner, right? You're not working directly with the buyer as often. It's more working through their portal, which they call Vendor Central. If you're a direct account where you're updating content, putting SKUs in, and then using that platform to really work with their customer service team to make changes. So it's very different than other normal channels, and so getting up to speed on that and managing it is helpful, or can be, not helpful, it can be tricky and a quick learning process.
Okay. And Ash, how about you? What's your experience been with Amazon?
I don't have too much direct experience. Our VP of Sales is currently handling this account and has a lot of background working specifically with Amazon. I do know in the upcoming year that we're spending and dedicating a lot more budget and time towards that channel. Also the most recent purchase that Amazon had was Whole Foods. So I think, particularly to my position, are things going to start moving out of the more in-store retail setting like a Whole Foods and be more directed to Amazon? I think the retail landscape is going to be shifting in the next 5 to 10 years, like significantly. So in-store sampling, how is that going to change? Where are our consumers mostly going to be getting their product from? So I think things are going to be changing pretty soon. It'll be really interesting to see how Amazon does take this whole new Whole Foods venture.
I was going to say something too. I think that is actually the long-term angle, right, is how many people are going to be leaving retail to go purchase online. And they're already starting to do that. But the bigger thing is that Amazon is eating up the whole e-commerce ecosystem. I just heard a stat actually the other week, which that in our category, they own 87% of all the e-commerce partners out there, all the e-commerce sites out there, other than your individual web store. So in the past, that was a very a smaller percentage, and they've eaten up a lot of that business, and they're really focusing on it. So if you're not working directly with Amazon, or it's not a high priority for you right now in the consumer product space, you should quickly change your mind.
So speaking of the Amazon platform, like Sam and I both work in organic SEO, right? So we're all about driving traffic to company websites. But within the Amazon platform, is there also an SEO concept, right? Are you also writing content with the goal of driving more traffic to your store?
100%, yeah. So.
And so how do you do that? What does that look like?
And so I would say that the key thing for them is a way to add content is something called an A+ page. And so that's, if you ever go on an Amazon product page and you scroll down, a lot of brands will have developed content with imagery, and they've built in text, and you can built in live text there that you can optimize towards specific keywords. They also have an opportunity where you can build in key keywords into the page through another portal to do that as well. And on top of that, from an advertising platform, they've created something called AMS, which is their advertising platform, that you can buy specific keywords, which can be highly effective. So there's a lot of tools, and they're always changing. They're coming out with new ones all the time, just like the Facebooks and the Googles of the world.
And what role do reviews play in that platform?
Yeah, and so reviews are obviously huge too, right? And just even outside of Amazon, people use Amazon as a platform to look at products to figure out how good they are. So even if my mom has told me if she's shopping for a new couch or something at a store, that she'll look up on Amazon and see how it's reviewed.
Without necessarily any intention of buying it
Of
there.
buying on an Amazon. Yep. And so you want your reviews to be good, not just for the Amazon platform, but for your entire company, because people look on Amazon. And so there's things you can do to kind of create more reviews and incentivize your customers to review more often. But I'm glad you touched upon that, because that's another key part of the business.
And how does that work? What are the things you can do to encourage people to give you positive reviews or any reviews?
Yeah, so it depends on how you work with them. But if you aren't selling directly to Amazon and you're shipping the product, what you can actually do is send notes to your customers who have ordered product, and they can incentivize them or not incentivize them, tell them to go try to write a customer review. And you can do the same thing as well if you're selling direct to them, where you just send a note to your customers trying to push them to write a review for them. So they do control it. They want it to be authentic, so there's not a lot of ways to get really around that, but there are some potential opportunities to try to get more customers to post.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next I want to ask a little bit about differentiation, right? You guys are in pretty competitive segments, right? In performance nutrition, product marketing, there are not only a lot of competitors, but some pretty powerful competitors, right? So how do you succeed in differentiating yourself and gaining mind share and market share in that space? Kevin, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Well, for us, it's all about our nutrition profile and great taste. We think that stands alone, and there's not a lot of products who can pull both those off. So we really lead on that. But then I think it also comes back to who we're targeting and delivering messaging that's on point to whoever that demographic is. So whether it's a young male college student who's trying to get fit, or it's a young mom who's trying to feed her family. Each of them can eat our products or our different product lines, but they all want to hear something different because they're looking for different ways to provide nutrition to themselves and their family. So I think it's all about messaging.
And you, Ash?
I would agree 100% with that. It's all about figuring out who the consumer is right in front of you and how can we speak to them specifically. They might really highly like the fact that our ingredients come from a certain place in the world. Okay, so let's speak on that. Let's differentiate in that space. Ultimately, they're all coming down to they want something that's clean and good for their body and good for their family, which a lot of the key players in that same space are also trying to emulate. So I think it goes back to brand mission. How are you messaging why you exist? What is your overall why? That people beyond the ingredients and the product are going to want to stick with you. So we try to be in the field, say activating at an event and having those personable conversations and really building, this is a great person, they're representing a great product. This is the overall experience I'm getting with this brand specifically.
Yeah. We've got 30 seconds left in this segment, Ash. What messages do you find are really connecting with your consumers today, right? What are they most concerned about?
Oh, boy. Clock is ticking.
Give me one good one. Ingredients, specific ingredients?
Health and wellness, and specific to ingredients being clean.
Okay. All right. So we'll be right back for our last segment on This Week in Marketing with AMA San Diego.
Take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple, and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com, on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Join culinary masters and legendary winemakers for one of the largest Epicurean celebrations, the 14th annual San Diego Bay Wine and Food Festival. From November 12th through the 19th, this week-long extravaganza features celebrity and local chefs, 200 amazing wineries, 70 of San Diego's best restaurants, and it's a week of citywide events. Go to VinVillage.com to save big on select tickets. For event and hotel packages, visit SanDiegoWineClassic.com. That's SanDiegoWineClassic.com.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Did you know the majority of radio listeners are between the ages of 35 and 54, have a household income of more than $100,000, are classified as executives or professionals, and share the show they listen to? Become part of the Peggy Smedley Show to reach listeners looking for information on connected devices through cost-effective radio commercials or segment sponsorships. Contact us at 630-933-0844 for more information, or visit PeggySmedleyShow.com.
Talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
Welcome back to our final segment. Before we conclude here today, I just want to remind everyone our next event is the Partner and Volunteer Appreciation Event, Thursday, November 16th at the wonderful tasting room at Malahat Spirits. Should be a lot of fun. If you are a partner or volunteer, please make sure you don't miss that event. We are wrapping up here with Kevin Weatherall of Detour Bar and Ash Hanig of Iconic Protein. I want to go to Kevin here to start our last segment. Kevin, same question I just asked Ash, right? What messages are really resonating with your customers today?
Yeah, so obviously we talk a lot about nutrition because that's what our product is based on, is delivering good nutrition or healthy nutrition to folks. And in that space, it's changed a lot over the years, right? Now people aren't just looking at the macronutrients of a product, so protein, sugar, carbs, all that stuff, but they're also looking at what's inside the product, what are the ingredients. So for us, being able to message about those nutrients and how and what they are, but then also talk about the ingredients and how we source them and why they're good for you is important. So it's delivering kind of on both those messages. And then at the same time, how they taste good. Because at the end of the day, people want to eat stuff that tastes good, right? So it needs to connect on all of those.
Yeah. Guys, maybe you can tell me, what is different? What differences are there in marketing food products versus all the other things out there, right? Consumer packaged goods or experiences, right? What are some of the big differences about marketing food? Kevin, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I worked at a toy, sporting goods company before, which is a little bit different because you purchase those products maybe once a year, once every few years. In this space, if you like a food product, you're going to be purchasing it every week or every day. Think about some of the, your favorite products in your life. If you're going to Starbucks, you're getting it every single day. So the ability to turn, a consumer into somebody who's going to be purchasing frequently and is really in love with your product creates a really big opportunity. At the same time, people are super picky about their food, as you know, right? And so being able to deliver a high-quality product at all times is important, and the struggles around that in terms of inventory and when you're doing sampling and all of that is key, because you want to make sure that the first experience with your product and their ongoing experience with your product is good.
Do you find, speaking of customer experience, right? Do you find that a bad customer experience, for example, if there's been an issue with packaging or something, right, or something's kind of expired, somebody had a less than optimal experience, that has a much greater negative effect given social media than a positive experience does?
Yeah, so it can have a really negative effect, but I've actually changed my approach on that recently. I was reading a book called The Power of Moments, which I'd really recommend to anybody out there. It's written by the same authors who wrote Switch. But anyways, the reason I brought that up is because I think in that opportunity, when someone has a complaint, there's a big opportunity to pivot them and actually to make it a great customer experience. So you can go out of your way to do things for them, whether it's sending new product to them or giving them a call or whatever it may be to end up making it a great customer experience that they share with your friends. A lot of times in lives, we remember the experiences that we had when something went wrong and then it was fixed, right, in a great way. So I've kind of shifted my mindset on how that can be. But obviously a bad experience is bad and you have to fix it.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great call. Ash, how about you? What's been your experience with the customer experience specifically and good experiences versus bad experiences?
Same thing to what Kevin was saying. It's turning that situation around and completely reversing their basically being upset and fixing that for them. They will remember you working hard to fix something for them. Even if at the end of it they still don't like your product, they're going to remember that you actually tried and you gave them, your voice and your time of day and you made them feel important. So it's about creating that experience and being, supportive and understanding of what they're going through. Just like in any type of relationship, it's you want to empathize with them at first and then do whatever you can to correct it. At the end of the day, you might not be able to. They still might go and purchase your competitor, but they'll at least see your brand and your voice in a better light than they had before you started that conversation with them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of big brands that are kind of struggling to learn this lesson, right? I mean, you saw that whole United Airlines fiasco last year where they had exactly the wrong reaction to that situation, right? And it just stung them, I think, for weeks instead of pivoting, like you said, Kevin, quickly turning that situation around and creating a lot more positive experience there.
Yeah, I actually was listening to a podcast the other day with the Chipotle founder who kind of went through a similar experience a few years ago when they had kind of a food outbreak, right, when they had with their product, and they kind of took that same approach where they changed their whole sourcing of their company and really put an effort into fixing it, and then ultimately I think they've really rebounded from that. So yeah. It's a moment in time to make a pivot, and it can actually end up putting you in a better place in the future. So
yeah, so not only fixing it but communicating about it, right?
Yep.
So Kevin, I'll continue with you. So what would you say is the most challenging part of your job, right? What is it that you're responsible for that makes you lose sleep?
Yeah, so I think it's really keeping the trains on the track, like I was talking about earlier. We have all these ambassadors out there running around doing events, and then we have advertising going on. And so keeping pace with everything that's going on and on track is key, especially when fires happen. Everyone knows in their roles that fire drills pop up and crazy things can happen. And so being able to put those out but also keep the trains on track, I think, is something I'm always trying to do.
So let's elaborate on that, right? You've got this kind of large force of brand ambassadors, right? How do you make sure they're all on message? You know what I mean? Is that something that worries you?
It is, right? Because the experience, for a new customer is where you need to make a difference, right? And you want them to be putting your brand and the best foot forward. So yeah, we spend a lot of time training those folks in advance and going through, I guess I would call it a dress rehearsal, right, of them sampling the product and making sure that they're communicating correctly and also that they can answer the questions. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone out there these days has a different allergy or different issue with food, and they're going to have questions about it. And you want to be able to answer those, and you also don't want to feed them something that could potentially make them sick. So
yeah, great
a lot
point.
of time to educate those folks in advance.
Yeah, great point. How about you, Ash? What keeps you up at night?
I think right now, just because we are in such a stage of growth, having the task of not only building the messaging and communication to the trade side of things, so speaking to retailers and buyers, but then on the other half of things, also creating messaging and content that is going to be consistent with consumers. So kind of diving into those two different areas of marketing and having everything pretty streamlined and consistent and on brand, messaging wise and what we're putting out there.
Yeah. And so let's flip that coin. Ash, I'll start with you. What is your favorite part of your job? What is the most fun for you?
Having field experience with marketing, it's that direct connection with the consumer who goes, wow, this is something that's going to change my life. I can use this every single day, and I'm so happy you were able to give it to me and, provide some education behind it. That's that's the moment I strive to have every day.
Okay. Kevin, how about you? What's your favorite part of your job?
Yeah, I just like the fast-paced environment of marketing. You know, I think especially now with the way that technology is going and online advertising is moving, you know, there's always something new happening, and it's really a lot of experimentation, and I really enjoy experimenting, and I think that's really the core to marketing, right? You always have to be trying new things and be okay with failing, because you will find a piece of gold somewhere in there that's going to change the game for you, and so that's what's really fun for me.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. We enjoyed the discussion. You can learn more about Detour Bar at detourbar.com and Iconic Protein at drinkiconic.com. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Securing Our eCity Foundation is a nonprofit organization focused on cybersecurity awareness and education. Formed in 2011, their mission is to enable every San Diegan to live, work, and play safely in the cyber world. For more information, visit securingourecity.org or call 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org, 619-630-2444. securingourecity.org.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Looking to be a successful entrepreneur? The virtual assistant industry continues to be a top choice for those looking to start their own business. The problem can be how to become a virtual assistant. Many turn to the Bible of the VA industry, the book Virtual Assistant, the series, and it's the perfect guide for office managers, executive assistants, and other administrative professionals looking to make the transition from employee to successful business owner. Go to vatheseries.com to get your copy today.
Hi, Scale listener. This is David Finkel, co-host with Jeff Hoffman of Scale Your Business. I wanted to let you know that our newest book, Scale, was just released, and to encourage you to get your copy. The book will give you 7 proven principles to grow your business and get your life back. Scale will help you work less by getting your business to produce more. Get your copy online or at your local bookseller. For more information, visit us online at scaleyourbusinesstoolkit.com.